Okay, so every time I create examples that have revolve in them, I like to start with my axis of revolution. So I'm just going to create a line. Make sure that it's horizontal. And I'm going to go across the width of my total shape. So it's going to be 45. Now I'm just going to zoom the extents and zoom out a little bit. Next, I'm going to use the copy command. I'm going to select the line that I just created, pick a base point, and I'm going in the upward direction. Now each one of these numbers are half of the diameter, so I'm creating the radius. So my first number I'm going to type in will be 25 divided by 2. Then I'll do 50 divided by 2. 100 divided by 2. And finally, 116 divided by 2. Now that has all of my lines that I need to create the next parts, or half of the shape that I'm going to create. So let's go ahead and create a line going right from this midpoint up to that midpoint. I'm going to start off creating one side and then I'll mirror to the other side. So I'm going to draw a line from this endpoint to this endpoint. I'm going to offset this line over half of that 25 dimension. So I'll go to offset, 25 divided by 2. Select this line and just offset it to this side. Next thing I want to do is rotate this line up to get that 15 degrees that I need. So I'll choose rotate, select this line. I'm going to select this endpoint and give it a degrees, which is 15. On the line here at the top, the width here is 35. So I'm going to go back to offset, give it a distance of 35 divided by 2. I'm going to select my middle line here, and I'm going to offset it this direction. Let's go ahead and clean up some of this stuff, so I'm going to use the trim command to do that. So trim, and I'm going to start here at the bottom and I'm going to work this line all the way back up, so I'm going to trim here and here. This line here, I'm going to trim these. This one going all the way up to the top, so here, here, and here. I'm going to trim off these two lines on the corner. And then finally I'm going to trim this line. Oh, and I do have one more. I'm going to trim this one back to here. Okay. Escape button. I'm going to rotate this line at another 15 degrees. So I'll go back to rotate, select this line, select this endpoint, negative 15 degrees, and then I'll do the final trimming. So back to trim, and trim off these points. I'm going to mirror these lines, just my outside lines here, across this vertical line here. So let's go to mirror. And if I'm not mistaken, it looks like a little TP. I'm going to use a window around it, so I'm going to do one click here and complete that window by clicking here. I'm going to select this endpoint down to this endpoint. I'm just going to answer no to that question. One last trim here. Let's get rid of this middle line. And if we've done this correctly, all of this should give me a one complete polyline. So I'm going to select it all and join it together. You can see that I did get one polyline. Next, I'm going to go ahead and create a circle on the outside here. So I'm going to make that circle a diameter. So I'll choose the circle center diameter. I'm just going to touch this endpoint and I'm just going to track away from it. And just get it enough distance so whenever you create that circle, it won't interfere with your original shape. Just going to click there. And the diameter is 1/16. Next, I'll go ahead and create another circle. And that circle is going to have a diameter of 75. So back to circle center diameter. Click on this endpoint. And 75. I'm going to go ahead and put a circle right at this quadrant, and that circle will have a diameter of 8. Circle center diameter. Go ahead and click on that quadrant. Let me do that one more time. It looks like I hit enter too quickly. So circle center diameter. Click this quadrant. 8. I'm going to array this. Polar array. Select your small circle. Select this center point. And give it a distance around, which is 6 of them. So I need to create 6. And I'm just going to make sure that my associativity is turned off. So make sure that this blue button is not highlighted. Go ahead and close the array. Actually, I can delete this outside line, so I will delete it. Now I have everything that I need to create the shape. Let's use the Revolve command. Select this polyline. My axis that I want it to revolve around is this endpoint and this endpoint. And for the angle that you need to complete this, you can either type in 360 or you can hit the enter button since that's by default the value. Let's take a look at this in an isometric view. And now I need to get this to be located to where I can adjust and cut these holes through the middle of my flange. So remember that anytime you want to use these gizmos, you have to be in anything other than a 2D wireframe. So I'm just going to choose, let's go shades of gray. I'm just going to select these circles. Select the rotate gizmo. I'm going to select this green axis. I'm going to stand it up and do a left click above it. Then I'm going to use the move command. I'm going to click on this center. And I'm going to put it on this endpoint that's on the inside of my shape. I'm going to delete some objects. So I'm going to delete that circle that's around and the line that's through the middle. So once I select them, I'm just going to hit the delete button on my keyboard. I'm going to use the extrude command. And I'm going to do one click here to the outside and select only my circles that are on the inside. Followed by enter. I'm going to drag it, and as long as this object or these cylinders extend past my object, they should be okay. So I'm just going to do a left click back here. Subtract. Select the object I want to keep. And then I'm going to select the objects that I want to remove. Now that shape is complete, I'm just going to rotate it to get it to the right orientation. My front view is located here, so I'm going to rotate this. Select your object, select the blue axis. You just want it going that direction. From this point, you will go ahead and insert in your title block and fill out your title block and have everything scaled up with your dimensions and make it look like the PDF that will be attached.